is an air fryer. These things are flying off the shelves because they claim to be so much cheaper than cooking with one of these, a bog standard oven. But how much does it really cost to run an air fryer? Can it really save your money? Or is it all just a fad? We're comparing this Morphy Richards Health Fryer, it's about £100, to this standard electric fan oven, pretty similar to what you've got at home. You might well ask, why not use this perfectly good oven right here? Well, we'll be monitoring energy usage with one of these, and this needs to be plugged into, and that is hardwired into the wall. So, that's why me, my girlfriend, and a very confused Uber driver had to carry this second-hand oven with a plug across town. We also have an official test going on in the lab. We'll compare those results with this demonstration. I'm going to be cooking 2 chicken breasts for my dinner, according to the manufacturer's instructions in both of these, while monitoring energy usage. So, chicken at the ready, and go. These are now preheating. Both need time to get up to temp, but the small chamber in the air fryer means in theory it should get there in just 3 minutes, but that might take a while longer. Okay, the 3 minutes are up. That's preheated. In goes the chicken. Already, you can tell it's pretty hot in there. Back in the drawer, and then in for the manufacturer's recommended 22 minutes. While we wait for the oven to preheat, let me talk about what this actually is. The marketing materials compare this to a deep fat fryer, but really, I think that's a bit of a nonsense comparison. No, what this is really like is a shrunk down version of this oven. The element heats up and a fan forces the hot air over the food, which is suspended in a basket. And that's just preheated. Time to get the chicken into the oven. This took about 10 minutes. The chicken is going in, and I'm going to set a timer for this, according to a recipe online, to about 25 minutes. We'll see how that does. Oh! Done. Oh! Okay, that doesn't look quite done, a little bit anemic. I'm going to add another 5 minutes. Half an hour later. I'd say that looks done. Right, chicken cooked. The air fryer took about 28 minutes, the oven around about 40. But the air fryer used about 16p less electricity overall, so it's a little bit of a saving. And as you can see, different results. Slightly looking anemic chicken down there from the oven, and this kind of nicer golden color from the air fryer. Let's give it a taste. First of all, the air fryer. It's a little bit dry. We cooked this for the bottom end of what the manufacturers recommended, and I know that we've only put a bit of oil and salt and pepper on it, but that is quite a dry chicken breast. This is the oven version. Now this we had to cook for longer than the recipe recommended. I think this is a slightly slower oven than average, but let's give it a try. As you can see, very juicy. So I'd say that is slightly blander to the taste on the outside, but then the inside is a bit more juicy. I think with some of the other recipes, let's see how they do. This second recipe was a typical kids' dinner of fish fingers and 330 grams of chips for 2. We had to cook the fish fingers and the chips in separate batches using the air fryer, which meant that the oven took about the same amount of time and was actually a lot easier. However, the air fryer was still cheaper, saving you 13 pence. Pretty similar results, maybe some crispier spots on the air fryer version than the oven, and the chips. Pretty good. Also pretty good. I can't tell the difference. To really push the air fryer to its limits, our third and final recipe was a full roast dinner of chicken, roasted vegetables, and Yorkshire puddings for 4. Roast dinner done. It was a score draw when it came to taste and texture, but it was a bit of a faff changing over that basket every time. After all that cooking, will an air fryer actually save me money? Well, funnily enough, it depends. If you're mainly cooking for one, if you use the chicken breast example, you'd be saving about £35 a year if you switched from an oven to an air fryer 4 times a week. But if you're cooking for a family and your 4 meals a week look more like our second example, it would take you longer to see any savings. According to our lab, you'd have to cook 476 chickens before you made back enough money to pay off that £100 original purchase. However, you would save 182 hours of waiting time because of that speedy air fryer. So these numbers are obviously based on some very specific examples, and for you, it will vary. Some air fryers come with 2 drawers so you can cook 2 different foods at the same time. Some ovens are more efficient than this one. It will vary depending on what you want, and frankly, you might just like that the air fryer makes your chips crispier. All that said, if you're expecting the air fryer to be your saviour against the fuel crisis, then I'm sorry to disappoint, but it will probably take a long time before you see a return on your investment. Before you shell out, maybe take a look at some of the other, less trendy cooking appliances that are on the market that could save you energy, like slow cookers or microwaves. If you do buy an air fryer, make sure you buy the very best for you by visiting which.co.uk/airfryers. Plus, sign up to the Weekly Scoop newsletter for home hacks, money-saving tips, and even a few recipes. Now, what am I going to do with all of these chips?